which is
next on deck.
This is where transfer. Does everything.
moronic to me.
You know, and you're What's up, man? Testing 1, 2, man. What's going on? What up, people? How y'all doing? I guess I don't need to be that loud, do I? Hey, people, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Yo. My name is Tim Black. Welcome back to the Tim Black Show. Get this damn mic right. Okay. What is cracking, people? What is cracking? You are tuned into the Tim Black Show. We're doing this again, folks. Thank you for bearing with me. It's been a great day today. Today's been amazing. I'm going to tell you that straight off the break. If you're a hater, hate. You got a lot to hate today. Yeah. If you're a hater, I'm leaving you a lot to hate today because I had a fantastic day, folks. But first, before we get into that, let me get into my moderators, the one and only Buck Bewley in Black Mamba. Gracias. Amigo, what is it? God, amigos, amigas, friends, right? It's been so long, man, since I took Spanish. Yo, what's up, people? What is going on? We are doing it live here. It's Thursday night. I'm digging, man. Part of the delay today was just trying to find content that I thought you might give a damn about. I mean, it's not always easy. I'm trying to tell you, man, it's often like a job to find the content. They're like, okay, do we want this? Do we want that? Yeah. Because just because they're talking about it on mainstream does not mean that we give a damn at all. In fact, sometimes when they're talking about it on mainstream, that's a good signal that we won't care. But I think I did okay today. I did okay. We'll be fine. You know, we'll add spice to it. I like to know who's in the house, though. Who's here? We got the people in the building. Are my people in the building? Do I have my people in the building? We got Megs in the house giving out 5 memberships off the break. Man, I'm trying to tell y'all, man, just see what I'm saying? I'm just trying to tell you, man, I got the best people, man. We work with each other. You know what I'm saying? We work with each other, man. And yo, thank you, Megs, for what you do. I see I got H Stacks in the building, welcoming back to Buck Bewley, BB in the house. We got David Pascal. What's up, David? How you doing, fam? Renee Huston, Lukicher. We got Black Ice in the building. Beware the Black Ice. What's happening, Black Rose? Black Mamba, Black Ice, Black Rose, Black Tim Black. Man, what are we doing? What are we doing? We're doing it. That's what's up, man. Thank y'all. We have Renato McCall and Touching Down with Kat Negrita and the amazing Adventures with Beppy. Antonio. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. Antonio. Sepinta. Penta, what's up, Penta? How you doing? AT, what's up? Yo, man, we are doing it here. Look, guys. Tonight's show is brought to you by softwarmclassic.com, softwarmclassic.com. So yeah, that's they got a great sale going on, and it's great. They got the Juneteenth designs. I'm loving it. I'm feeling it. I'm gonna be wearing one. Be wearing one of those designs. Who's in the building, man? Are people here? Are we doing okay? Can I get some of my people on X? Yo, man. Facebook sucks, man. I'm not even on Facebook tonight because I do a live stream on Facebook just like I do on all the other platforms. And Facebook's complaints like, you put clips in your video. I'm like, yeah, I know. YouTube knows and TikTok knows and even LinkedIn knows. Like, you don't own it. It's for people to see. Doesn't mean you get to. And Facebook's up, man, they are just horrible, yo. Oh, they just want me to put them all my original content so they can go run and make all their money off of it. God forbid you just let people see it. People are horrible, Johnson. So my Facebook people, they can't hear this because they're not getting live stream to tonight. So I said, you know what? I'm not even going to live stream on Facebook tonight. Bump it. Horrible, man. Horrible. Giving me messages. They make it hard out here for a commentator. But it's all good. If you're on X, share this out, please. Let the algorithm know the Tim Black Show is doing its thing. We're back on live and we're doing it, and it's, you know. So, you know, I guess I'll say it, man. You know, we're looking for 400 likes. I'll take 3. I said I'll take 3. It's Thursday. I don't know what to expect. The topics tonight are the Diddy trial buzz, Trump's Qatar scandal, leftist masculinity, and the black conservative grift. Yeah, we got a lot of that going on right now. Yeah, we do. Got a lot of that going on. We gotta address these things. You know what I'm saying? We gotta deal with it. We gotta talk about it, right? And you know what, guys? That black conservative grift, man, it's becoming a rallying cry. You know, we really got to push back against the nonsense. Yeah, there's a level of screwball masculinity. There's a level of horrible black grifting in the conservative world that I'll take because I've had to deal with the horrible levels of black liberal and progressive grifting on the other side. I've seen it all. You know what I'm saying? So I know it's not just conservatives, but the conservatives, the things they're saying are just, I mean, they have no soul. These people are horrible, man. It's nothing like the white man's money. You know what I'm saying? Like, gosh. Because these people, the things that they're saying, like, I never hear other groups doing this. You know, like the way they go in on particularly black women, like, so now I see why the sister was like, Tim, you're going in too much on black women. I'm like, well, they're the ones that do the, you know. When Joy Reid was on the top of her game, the black male shows don't even like come close. Like in media, sometimes you're covering what's hot. And let's just face it, black women be hotter on cable news. Like, it's just what it is. Like, who they got? Who name the black male equivalent to Jasmine Crockett or to Joy Reid or to Nina Turner or to, like, name them. I mean, besides me, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But name them. Like, there's none. So sometimes people confuse what is me just covering what's hot to, like, hate. It ain't hate. I disagree vehemently. But I'm trying to get out of hate, like the hate thing. Like, I don't want to be in a hate mode. So anyway, and now that I'm ready to take a time, I'm looking around because I try. Typically, guys, typically I don't even look at other people's content because I don't want their opinions to cloud my opinions, that type of thing. I want to say just me. Win or lose, rise or fall, I want to say me. That's important to me. You know what I'm saying? I think people come here for an authentic Tim Black. They don't come for me to be like seeing what this person's saying and that person's saying and threading the needle and trying to wrap it underneath and trying to, do the jazz hands, you know what I'm saying? Like Gavin Newsom, try to, do the thing where you do this and, I don't want to do that. I just want to be like, yo, this is my opinion. This is my commentary and present it to you, make my arguments and let you take it or leave it. All that being said, fam, The black conservative media that I'm seeing on X and on YouTube is just horrible, man. It's like somebody figured out. Candace Owens has created this toxic trail that all these goofies are now eating up and following suit. And they're not even as good as Candace was at doing it. You know what I'm saying? Pathetic, man. This whole black, fatigue. These people talking about black people like they're not black people. And I want them to keep that same energy. When they're up here running their mouth and they're up here putting out the content that are agreeing with this notion that whatever goofy Nick Fuentes, Tim Pool, whoever came up with this black fatigue nonsense, Benny Johnson, any of these Johnny Appleseed heads that came up with this, right? If you are co-signing that, stay over there. Now, don't tap dance back over here. Stay right over there where you are. You are othering black people. You are saying, no, I'm black, but, I'm not, those blacks and doing all this, those and they, stay right over there, fam. No reason for you to come back over here. Stay over there. Keep that same energy because it's going to be a long 4 years. Stay right over where you are, fam. You want to be othering black people? You want to be dissing blackness? Fine. I get it, fam. I know it's a bag to pick up. I've been doing this 13 years, fam. I know what time it is. But stay over there. You can't come back. Give it up for that. Yeah, fam. I was a progressive, but I was always Tim Black. These mofos be talking about blackness like it's a plague, like black is like, oh my God, like it's like a disease. Like it's a burden to be a black American. So these guys are horrible. And it's majority black men. And what's their number one punching bag? Black women. Now, don't get me wrong. Nobody is above criticism. Nobody. But you never hear these people complain or criticize white folks. Nope, they don't do it. They're very focused. They are very committed to the grift. And what I said yesterday, it stays, right? I need to talk to white America. I need to tell you. I know you might not care, but I gotta tell you. When I'm calling the black conservative morons, these self-hating or black-hating, black-looking, conservative-hating, black, whatever they are, those people, when I'm calling them grifters, they're not grifting black America, they're grifting you. So I'm prone not to care because if you're goofy enough to think that Jason Whitlock is speaking for black people, like that's, come on, man. Come on. You really think that? He's not. Jason Whitlock is speaking for himself. So the grift is not grifting black Americans. They're not grifting us. They're grifting on white people. The white conservatives who are going to give them money to parrot and talk and demean black folks. The grift is you. They're running the grift on you, not us. We're the punching bag, and they're not looking for us to pay them. They're looking for you to pay them, and that's what you do. So there it is. But I want to make a call. I'm sending a call out to all the real, true black radical, positive black commentators in the new black media. I'm sending a call out to all of y'all. Let's address these fools. We can't let them just go unchecked. So I'm hollering at, I haven't seen my man Phil. I see Alpha Network out there though, but I'm looking for Black Authority. I'm looking for Professor Black. Truth. I'm looking for these names, right? Let's have a concerted effort and we just beat back this nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't stronger than us. They're not stronger than us. Amazing Lucas is out there. I'm like, you know what? everybody got their own lane and everybody's doing their own thing. I get that. And I'm not saying we got to form Voltron, but I am saying, I do want to say, ain't nothing wrong with shouting out my brothers and my sisters. And there's nothing wrong. And what we need, and what I'm hoping we can do is make a concerted effort to go after these morons and shut them down. Because they're influencing people with the nonsense, and they damn right disrespectful. So you know what I'm saying? So like, let's go ahead and address them. All right, let's do that. Let's do that. So that's it. That's it. Now, we got a lot of content tonight, man. A lot to get into. Not too much. It's gonna be kind of a short night, depending on, if a brother get the Holy Ghost. But I do want to share with you. I want to give a big shout out to my brother, Shamichael Singleton, who had an opportunity to talk to today. We had a great conversation for 2 hours of us just chopping it up on a number of political topics, black topics. We had a great time discussing these things that impact the country, things that impact Black America specifically, remedies, solutions, the whole nine, man. It was a great conversation. And with that in mind, I like to, give you a little teaser for the conversation that we had. Check this out.
Moronic to me, but who in the hell am I?
Well, you just like everybody else, you're a person with opinions, and you're entitled to those opinions. You know what I'm saying? Same thing here, man. And I'm thinking, man, with a family coming up with, trying to see their way through what's happening here in this country, man. Let me first say, man, and we're recording, by the way, Shamichael, man.
Oh, okay. And by the way, Tim, I will not use profanity on the show, so don't worry.
It doesn't matter. It's YouTube, baby. It's anything goes on YouTube, man. Yeah. And if I need to, I'll bell it or something if I have to. But I don't expect you to get like, you ain't Mike Epps. You know what I'm saying? I know you.
Man, Tim, bro, let me tell you, man, I have my moments. My moments where I want to say certain things. And because I'm so used to being on TV, I'm like, damn, I can't really say how I'm really feeling. So maybe I'll be able to say how I really feel. What they say it from the chest. Now I can say it from the chest.
Please do, Shamichael, man. I feel it would be an honor, brother, that you express yourself fully, man. But hey, look, man, I'm not trying to get run out of here on the rail by my people.
Yeah.
So I need to start being for the Wolfpack audience. That's my people that dive right in. What do you stand on lineage-based reparations for Black American descendants of chattel slavery? If you support it, why? And if you don't, what are some other remedies that you see are equipped to help us with the wealth and justice gaps we're still living with? Yeah, Johnson. Yeah, we got right to it. Yeah, So yeah, for my members, to the members of the Tim Black Wolfpack, right? To the members on YouTube and the members on the Patreon show, you're gonna get the full 2 hours. Was it 1, 2, 3 Sunday? So I'm gonna put out an excerpt, a couple little segments, right, to get it going. Then Sunday, you get the early access of the interview, and then Friday, that's when you get the debut of the complete list for the general public. So if you're a member of the Tim Black Show, you remember the Tim Black Wolfpack show, the paid members, you get early access to it. So, and that's what I've been doing. I did that with Dana with the data. If you're a member, you got that last week. The full 2 hour will premiere tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Shamichael Singleton, next Friday, his full video will premiere on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's what we're doing, man. Like I've been telling folks, man. One of my goals is to get the Tim Black Wolfpack members something special. Because I appreciate y'all, man. It's $5 a month, but it's your $5. And I want to give you something that lets you know, and I want to position you and show my appreciation, man. Because, You ain't got to support this channel when you do. And what I can do is give you early access to content. Of course, if you order a Tim Black mug, I give free swag out. That's buttons, bracelets, all types of stickers and stuff I give out. Like, I'm always trying to take care of my people that take care of me, man. One thing we try to have here is customer service. So, yeah, man, thank y'all, man. Go to timblackmug.com to pick up your mug and go join us on Patreon. So, yeah, man, check out Michael. He's on X. He's got a YouTube channel. He's with the Guns Out Network. He's doing this thing, man. We the free. WeTheFree.com. But all that's gonna be in the video. So no more delay, y'all. Let's get to it. Let's jump into this content, fam. Yeah, let's go. Pumped up. I told you I had a good day today. Told you it's good. Check this out.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Ariva, we knew that there was a settlement, right? When Cassie Ventura filed her lawsuit very quickly, Combs settled. We only learned the amount of the settlement when Ventura revealed she'd received $20 million, which is a lot of money. That's going to folks on this jury. Maybe it's not as much money to someone like Sean Combs. It is a lot of money objectively to people on this jury. How is the defense going to use that?
Well, a part of what the defense is saying is that she stuck around for the money and that she enjoyed the perks and benefits of being his girlfriend and being in a relationship with him, and that she has profited from this story that she's telling to the jury. But I think jurors are smart enough to appreciate the difference in a civil lawsuit. And some people will feel like the violence that she was subjected to, the $20 million, was not nearly enough. There are people who are shocked at how little $20 million is when you think about the amount of wealth that he has and the violence that she endured in this relationship.
Wow. Look, man, I got to admit, man, I'm not following everything in this case. I'm really not. But $20 million? Is she serious when she said $20 million is not a lot? I mean, I'm not getting it. Like, she said, like, $20 million is not a lot for the things that Cassie went through. And I'm like, huh? You know, there are people doing all types of freaking stuff for free right now. Yeah, I'm from D.C., fam. There's a hotel called the Mayflower Hotel. That's where Marion Barry, Mayor for Life, was at when they did the little sting operation on him to try to get him up out the paint, because he had gave contracts. He had an executive order as a mayor where he gave 30% of all federal contracts or D.C. contracts had to go to a black small business. See, he didn't just talk about it; he was about it, and that made him a target. So when they put their sister in there with the pipes or whatever, had the cameras in his room, the people act like it was just like, wow, how'd that happen? This was it's the late 80s. Anyway, my point is, there are a lot of freak-offs going on right now everywhere we look, or don't look. And then people making a lot less money or getting paid a lot less money, or are not going on private jets or going across the globe and partying in Mexico. I saw a video, and I know it's two sides of the equation. I get that, but I'm on this side right now. I saw a video of Cassie that was like a year after the hotel dispute at Diddy's birthday party. I think it was his 48th birthday party in Mexico. Them hugged up like nothing was wrong. Just as happy. They look like a newlywed couple. This was after the hallway kicking and beating. This is after that. It's timestamped. It's his birthday. It's a bunch of people. It was released. It was on X. It's a TMZ video, so I can't show y'all. But what I'm saying is, yeah, man, this is not open. It's shut. Yeah, when we hear vile descriptions of how people get down behind closed doors, it gets very graphic, right? It gets graphic. And since, yeah. But this is not open and cut. Open, dry cut. What is it? Black and white, whatever. That being said, here goes another clip for us to kind of take another look at it.
Inhumane and depraved. Don't even scratch the surface when describing the abuse that Sean Diddy Combs' ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura says she endured. Graphic, inhumane, and depraved. Don't even scratch the surface when describing the abuse that Sean Diddy Combs' ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura says she endured for years.
And for 2 days, she's given explicit and disturbing testimony of her decade-long relationship with the music mogul, breaking down into tears and talking about how she's now in therapy and how she's thought about even taking her own life.
So today, Cassie Ventura takes the witness stand again, but this time it's Sean Combs' defense attorneys that will be asking her the questions. And they will be actually likely challenging her testimony and even her memories. Eyewitness News reporter Phil Tate joins us live outside the courthouse in Lower Manhattan. Hey, Phil, what's going on today?
Yeah, Sam, good morning. Day 4 of Sean Combs' racketeering and sex trafficking trial is now underway, and that's with cross-examination from the defense. Ultimately, the jury will have an opportunity to hear another line of questioning from Sean Combs' lawyers, as well as to hear her responses. Already a busy day outside of the courthouse. Let's get straight to some video right now, and that's as Combs' family had arrived, which included Sean Combs' mother, Miss Combs, as well as his children, Quincy, Justin, and King Combs. Now, noticeably missing were his 3 daughters. Now, Cassie Ventura's husband, Alex Fine, also hustled into the courthouse and did not answer any of the questions that I asked as he walked inside. And this is all ahead of his wife's cross-examination. Some key moments from yesterday during her testimony were her identifying over a dozen escorts that she had made contact with for Combs that had participated in various sexual encounters in cities from LA, Miami, here in the city, and Vegas. Now, she testified violent moments, prosecutors even showing pictures of physical trauma to her body. Now, she testified that back in 2018, at the tail end of their relationship, that she was raped by Combs allegedly, and that she, along with others, endured frequent abuse and was blackmailed by the release of these explicit videos that could have left her career on life support. Now, a composed Ventura, she went in depth as the prosecution asked her about the jarring surveillance video inside that Los Angeles hotel, now seen around the world, when Combs was caught on security cameras, knocking her down and kicking her near an elevator bank. Now, she told the court she used quite a bit of makeup days later to hide those bruises during a red carpet appearance, but it was her gut-wrenching testimony that she shared as she entered a drug rehab and trauma therapy center in 2023. She said she was suicidal and even tried to walk out the door into traffic, but was stopped by her now husband. Now, we spoke with Cassie's attorney this morning on his thoughts as the defense questions her right now. Let's take a listen.
She's doing well. She had a restful night. She's ready for cross-examination, and we're very confident that she's going to do perfectly.
The only thing they proved to me yesterday was they showed domestic violence. It's not against the law to be a freak. It's not against the law to be a voyeur.
And that was a family friend to Combs who has been inside of the courtroom, and he tells me that he's been talking with Sean Combs quite frequently. Now, cross-examination is expected to last all of today into tomorrow. Prosecutors have asked the judge for this process to end by the end of the week, as they say Cassie is very pregnant and could go into labor at some point. Now, we also do know that the defense is saying that Cassie Ventura was capable. They say that she chose to stay. Again, Combs has pled not guilty to all of the charges that he faced that could leave him behind bars for the rest of his life. We are live outside of the federal courthouse in Lower Manhattan. I'm Phil Tate, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Yeah, it may not be, and to the guy's point, fam, you're like, yeah, it's not against the law to be a degenerate. It is not against the law to get down how you get down, as long as you're with consenting adults. But when you have money over someone's head, when you have their career in your palm of your hands, then there's a thing called coercion, right? So there's a case we're looking at with Lionel Richie, same type of thing, right? When someone basically works for you, you know what I'm saying? Things, there's names for that, and that's not legal. There's also something illegal when you're beating someone's ass. So there's that part. Because if you're laying hands on somebody, this shows you being an abusive partner. That's against the law. Beating somebody up, roughing them up where they got to wear makeup to cover up bruises. Yeah, that's illegal. Now, yeah, I'm not going to say I'm a legal expert, because I'm not. but I can tell you that much. So this is going to be a very difficult case for Sean Combs because Cassie is the one person that can very much, that has the credibility, that was with him for a long period of time, that's going to be able to speak to these things. And we already have the physical evidence. Like that film is already out there. I'm not at the trial, but I already know based on the way he was drop kicking her, he drop kicked her before. Yeah, it was, the way he was so freely stomping her and abusing her in that hotel, that shows to me that this is a vet at doing it. This is not, he did not look timid at all when he dropped that. So I think it's going to be a very easy thing to prove that Sean Diddy Combs was abusive, and that is against the law. So we'll see where that goes. As it pertains to the trafficking, as it pertains to the other things, that's something we gotta, that's something that's got to come out in the trial, I believe. So yeah, there's two sides of it. Yes, I do look at it like, of course, this was a long-term relationship of 11 years. They were not married. They were boyfriend, girlfriend, dating in this whatever. There's text messages. There's a lot that comes out. I've been following a couple people on X, and they've been very provocative with the content that they've been saying that's been released at the trial. So it's a lot going on. But today was day 4, and it is something. It's so bad. That's why Diddy's daughters had to leave the courtroom, because it's so graphic. We got male escorts talking about what went down. I mean, nothing's been held back in this. But yeah. So what does that leave us? I don't know. And it's okay not to know. I don't have to take a position. Neither do you. We're listening. We're discovering this. It's graphic. It's sickening, right? And yeah, we don't have to solve it. We don't have to solve it. And I don't have to pick a side. What I can say, violence against anyone is wrong. And what consenting adults do is one thing. But if the case is proven that what we have here is something far worse than consenting adults, then, that's going to come out in court. And it's coming out. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section about this trial, what's happening here. It's shaping up to be the trial, I would say one of the top trials of the last decade when it comes to exposures of Hollywood and the music industry, what have you. I will add this, guys. I saw somebody post something about the downfall of hip-hop and how hip-hop was a psyop to begin with. And now it is finally coming out just how horrible hip-hop is, that it was manufactured to destroy not only the Black community, but the American fabric itself, and erode sensibilities and desensitize us so that we can be exploited by all the systems, the prison industrial complex, the welfare system, all these different aspects in our society that are fed into. Hip-hop is like part of what keeps this mess going, what keeps the degeneracy, what keeps the failure, what keeps the violence. It's part of what keeps all of that gluing. It's the glue that holds together the crazy Frankenstein of our society. You understand what I'm saying? And I never looked at it that way, frankly. When I was coming up hip-hop, I saw hip-hop evolve from what was fun to mostly a vehicle for partying. I mean, guys, the Sugar Hill Gang, when I was a little kid, my brother, we had a little band, we played. That was about enjoying the partying. Houdini, that's how I was introduced to hip hop. And I saw it evolve into something totally different. Then it got conscious, into conscious rap, and then came so-called gangster rap. And now we're in a whole nother era, of course. But anyway, I just want to put that out there. Kind of get your take on that. All right. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving, guys. Here we are.
On deck with Tim Black.
I'm Governor Westmore all the way.
Westmore is a very good idea.
And if you don't know who he is, you should learn, because to me, he's the most qualified, amazing candidate I've seen in my lifetime.
So you agree?
He will be president.
So you agree with Crockett then?
He's black.
That you can't have a woman.
You can't have a woman.
It's about a woman.
But the thing is that I don't look at people first by the woman, a black man, a gay person, of this. I look at the best candidate, and then they happen to have all these other things they bring.
You may be a little different from most of the country.
I don't know. I would say that we got to stop telling the American public what they're ready for.
We've
elected a black man before.
We lost twice when women ran.
And the View is just a horrible vehicle, man. It just is. But once again, it's what's in the mainstream. It's what people gravitate to critique. So that's why we're talking about it. But that was a horrible thing. We had a black president before. No, we didn't. We had a mixed race president before. Even Morgan Freeman says that. Westmore is my governor, by the way, guys, so I got some opinions about that.
I don't know. I would say that we got to stop telling the American public what they're ready for.
We've
elected a black man before.
We lost twice when women ran.
Yeah.
I mean,
but is there no distinguishing factors to each woman and why they might have lost? Is there no nuance?
Hillary Clinton was one of the most qualified candidate in presidential.
She carried a lot of Clinton baggage, but she was polarized.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm
fine because
to a failed game show host.
Yes.
Okay?
I loved her. I voted for her. But the number one thing I heard from people that didn't like her was there was this mystery around the Clinton baggage they took. I just don't trust her.
They weaponized her husband against Hillary Clinton. And the bottom
They did all those things.
This country is a misogynistic country, and this country is a country that out of all of the first world countries hasn't been able to elect a female president.
So
That's just factual.
But we got female talk show hosts like Sunny Hostin, whose husband is facing the largest racketeering case in the state of New York's history, and no one talks about it. Somehow, so Hillary, who, was under the shadow of being the first lady to Bill Clinton, you want to say that's what stopped her? I don't know, man. Look at you. You're on TV every day. No one even brings up the scandal that's brewing within your own bedroom or within your own home, in your own marriage. So I don't know. I think there was more to it with Hillary, don't you? Yeah, I think Hillary, in fact, Michael Singleton and I had a good conversation about Kamala Harris versus Hillary. And I don't want to give away the smoke, but here's some important factors here that we consider. Because see, what they continue to do, the liberals continue to make it seem like it's just because they're women with ovaries that they didn't win this election. When there are real reasons, there are reasons why these women lost to Donald Trump. First of all, they're going up against one of the most popular Republicans in recent history that won his primary 3 times in a row. So those 2 women went against the same guy, right? So I don't know why we're leaving that part out. And say for Biden running and say for the COVID-19, I don't think Biden would have beat Trump. I think that the influx, the unprecedented amount of write-in ballots that were in that election had a lot to do with Biden winning that election. We've never seen that many write-in ballots, ever. So I think he would have lost as well if it had been a regular season, a regular voting process, like the one that Hillary and Kamala faced. I think Biden would have never became president, which means maybe you would have had your first president. Maybe Kamala would have won. Or maybe Trump would have did his 2 terms and been out. Therefore, there would not have been a 3rd term. Who knows who would be president right now? Have no idea. So that's like my view of it. But this idea that the only thing that they're boiling these women down to are body parts, not looking at what their policies were. Hillary ran on, I'm with her, which was not anything to get anybody excited except women. It's like she truncated her candidacy and defined it based on just that. They thought that was going to be enough. And they thought that coupled with the corporate media would be enough to upend Donald Trump. So there was a total miscalculation, an underestimation of just how potent MAGA was, which led to her loss. Hillary did horrible compared to Kamala. She's pathetic. So this is not even, like, she didn't even campaign places she should have campaigned. And then Kamala, look at her. She had a truncated process. First of all, there was a fumble of the bag. I don't know what that was. As Frank Letts said, they gave her more money than God. She flushed it down the toilet and gave some to her friends. She set $2 billion on fire. What'd she do with it? Couple of cheesy ads, dancing around with a weird, I don't know, what's the word for it? Dandy on X? What was it? This goofball on X prancing around. Like, there's been some horrible mistakes by the Democratic Party. And they're also leaving out how horrible the Democrats have been overall. Yeah, what about that? What about the fact that Democrats have basically stunk up the place for quite some time? I mean, look at the approval rating of the Democrats themselves, the party. Look at it. One thing about Trump that people got to see is that Donald Trump is not the Republican Party. Donald Trump is Donald Trump. And a lot of people view Trump as a separate entity because he has conducted himself in a unique way. You can say what you want to say, but trying, and everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I think you're missing the boat if you see what's been happening in this political last 20 years is being regular. It ain't regular, fam. Donald Trump won his primary 3 times in a row, and it's not because Republicans wanted him to either. So it's been a phenomena that is unseen by anyone else in political history. The MAGA movement, you ain't got to like it, you ain't got to agree with it, but it's not, I don't even think it's fair to compare running against Trump like running against anybody else. It's like totally different. Hell, man, just having the internet involved. I mean, everything's different. But they're talking about historical. I don't get it. I'm talking historically about our elections. And I don't think you can make that case. You can't compare what's going on now in 2024, well, what went on in the 2024 election to 1984 with Reagan or 1992 with Clinton. Like, it's crazy. We got the Google. We got cable news, constant content. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to leave it there, guys. Let me know what you think, fam. The ladies of the View, back to Westmore. The ladies of the View, one of them is saying Westmore is going to be the next president. I don't know if she would say that. She would say that if Westmore was a white guy. I don't know. She says she don't see color. I hate when people say that. Whenever someone says they don't see color, I always wonder how they get dressed in the morning. Doesn't ring true to me. How do you drive a car? Someone check her license. But yeah, because you gotta see color in order to stop at stoplights, traffic lights. Anyway, guys, that's it. Let's keep it moving. What's next?
Next on deck with Tim Black.
The country of the United States take a 747, but here's what's interesting to me, what the media isn't telling you, what no one's talking to you about, is this same 747 has been in negotiations for a year. The Biden administration is the one that started these conversations. It didn't start underneath the Trump administration. Why? Because we need a backup for Air Force One, because right now the President of the United States is flying around on a 40-year-old plane, and there is no backup for it. The backup we had, the airframe started having structural issues. No.
Listen to this, guys. Now, I've been on the internet, looking at content, looking at what's been talking about, what's been trending, trying to figure out and I've been hearing them talk about this plane, this Qatari plane, and how Trump is a big scumbag and he's selling out the country over this plane. And I've been seeing like liberal commentator after liberal commentator running around, clutching their pearls, their hair on fire, running down the streets of cable news over this plane. I'm like, what is all this talk? And then I find this clip. And just like all things that they complain about, it started not with Trump, but with Biden. Biden was in talks to get the plane before Trump was in, while Biden was president. Do you hear what I'm saying? Everybody's lying to you. Everybody's leaving out the pertinent fact that Biden had already agreed to take the plane. Just like everyone leaves out the fact that those kids in cages were under Obama. Everybody act like, oh my God, we got kids in cages. Oh my God, look at Trump, he's so horrible. Then when they found out it was Obama, everybody was quiet. It acted like it didn't happen, act like it wasn't true. Acted like it was, listen, man, fake news is everywhere we look, okay? Fake news is everywhere we look. The whole dust up about this damn plane. This damn plane, folks, it's all smoke and mirrors. It is all a smear campaign. And it works because people don't even look to see if CNN's lying. They don't look to see if MSNBC's on the level. They don't do anything. They just hear Trump's name, and anything that's said after that, they go, if it's bad, they go, yeah, it makes sense. That's what Trump would do. For the people in the cheap seats,
United States take a 747. But here's what's interesting to me. What the media isn't telling you, what no one's talking to you about, is this same 747 has been in negotiations for a year. The Biden administration is the one that started these conversations. It didn't start underneath the Trump administration. Why? Because we need a backup for Air Force One, because right now the President of the United States is flying around on a 40-year-old plane, and there is no backup for it. The backup we had, the airframe started having structural issues. No one's discussing that part. They're just discussing that the deal ended with President Trump. Maybe the media doesn't know. Maybe I'll give them a pass. Maybe you didn't know. I'll give you the pass. I'll give you a pass on that one. But the fact is, this conversation started with Qatar, with Biden a year ago.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Man, folks, I gotta get this. Where's my damn
Tim Black's BS detector?
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Folks, what I'm trying to tell you is that when you're when their lips are moving, you gotta check for lies. Okay? Check for lies every time out. And I'm not saying, guys, I'm not saying Trump is not a business guy who's, is not thinking about business. I'm not saying his kids aren't doing business right now, that they're not benefiting from the fact Trump is president of the United States. I'm not saying that. I want to put that out there. But I'm saying this plane is not for personal enjoyment. He does not get to take it with him when he leaves office. That was never the idea. Sort of like when they gave us the Statue of Liberty. I don't know which president got that or when it was given to the country, but the president didn't get to take it with them. Okay? This plane does not go with Trump. It's not to make Trump, play footsies with the prime minister of Qatar. No. And if you want to be upset about it, now that you know that Biden was in talks for this plane, the talks for this plane was structured and were birthed with Biden. Does that change how you look at it? Probably it does, or maybe it doesn't. Because everyone's got Trump derangement syndrome. And here goes something else, guys. I've been working on this. Because we all heard Trump derangement syndrome, but I'm looking at Democrat delusion syndrome, DDS. These are people that are delusional, that think the Democrats are angelic. Yeah, they got all the evidence in the world that the Democrats are just as these dastardly Democrats. They had all the evidence in the world that show the Democrats be lying, that they're full of it. And unlike the Republicans, they got an entire media infrastructure in place to keep their lies going. So if you are sitting around and you're accepting the Democrats' talking points, the liberal talking points, the corporate media, folks, you may have DDS, Democrat delusional syndrome. All right. Speaking of DDS, look, one of the things that's hurting the Democrats right now is that guys, as in men, are abandoning the Democratic Party. All types of men, okay? Black men are leaving the Democratic Party. Or not signing up, just not signing up for the Democratic Party. White guys have always been a party of the Republicans. Or, they have always opted for the Republican Party. But it's important for the Democrats to keep the numbers respectable. Or they're going to win the elections. Winning are going to be very difficult and far in between. So they're getting their butt kicked. And one of the reasons why is because, well, on these social issues, it seems like the Democrats have forgot about guys. They have lost any of the the Democratic Party has lost their blue collar muscle. I don't know if they ever had it, but they damn sure, like in the last 20 years, like I don't see it. Once upon a time, that wasn't the case. The Democratic Party had more of a influence with unions, and they were seen as the party of the working class. Here goes the video that kind of explains what I'm talking about. Listen to Tim Walz try to be tough guy. You heard that. Jazz hands Tim Walz.
This is where, this is part of the conversation I'm trying to have is you got to respect people you disagree with. And this is where, this is part of the conversation I'm trying to have is you got to respect people you disagree with, and you can't just dismiss people. This
How do you fight it?
This notion
I think
of
I could kick most of their ass. I do think that if they wanted to. I know I can outrun them, but I don't know if we're going to fall into that place where we want to. Okay, we challenge you to a WWE fight here type of thing.
And this is
when I hear Tim Walz talk about laying hands on somebody, a little bit of me inside laughs like I'm at the first time I saw Delirious. You know what I'm saying? Or on Sunset Boulevard, Richard Pryor. Like it was the first time I saw Bill Cosby himself. Because it's like an Ali Sadiq thing. Like Ali Sadiq is funny as hell. But what's even just as funny is this idea that Tim Walz is masculine. He ain't. He's not. And it's a slap in the face of any man that considers himself masculine, having masculine energy, and this whole idea, this whole toxic masculinity, this thing. Like, men that are really about their business, it's not toxic. Okay? So the Democrats, they demonize men just being themselves. Okay? And then they offer us this guy. They offer us jazz hands Gavin Newsom and the weirdo, don't leave nobody with them kids. With them kids, go get them kids, Tim Walz. I told you not to leave them kids with Tim Walz. Those are the vibes I get from Tim Walz. And then you wonder why you're losing men. You wonder why guys aren't showing up. When I look at both parties, they both fail in this area. In my opinion, they do. Particularly when it comes to black guys. I mean, black men, what do we have to look at when it comes to politics and say, hey, I can relate to that brother. That brother is a strong brother. And that brother shows the same values and it shows some of the same values that I hold. Can't look at Van Jones and say that. He's crying every time I turn around. Because that's what they want him to do. Look, folks, at this point in time, we got to recognize that when Van Jones or Tim Scott or one of these guys is emasculating themselves like that on camera, it's a learned skill set to put money in their pocket. I mean, you don't really think. You guys know Van Jones is very successful. The guy was given $100 million. Would they have given Van Jones $100 million if he talking like Tim Black? No. He'd lucky to see $10,000 talking like me. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a nurture. It ain't the nature, it's nurtured. So these parties nurture the quivering, bottom lip of Van Jones, or the pathetic, crying, sappy Tim Scott. The pathetic, over the top, theatrical crying of what's his name, Cory Booker. Like, both parties nurture that. They want that out of black men. It's like, to be a black man in either one of these political parties, you gotta be a eunuch. You gotta cut it off, and you gotta cry and act, or it's not gonna work for you. Both parties demonstrate that. So, like, I don't know what they expect. And that's why Donald Trump. So that's one of the reasons why I feel Donald Trump has been successful. It's because he said, "No, I'm not gonna jazz hands, and I'm not gonna pander like Tim Walz." And he like leans into being brash, calling people low IQ, start roasting people. These are masculine traits, and this is perfect for black men. Folks, I grew up roasting people on the stoop at the age of 10. We didn't have cable. We had the stoop outside, and we go out on the steps, and we'd roast each other. And if you didn't cry, you won. That's how it worked. I remember opening up the cabinets and just looking at all the seasonings and coming up with new Jones or roast. Like, you big nutmeg neck, you big, cauliflower head, you cayenne pepper nose having, just coming up with, saccharin, you Kool-Aid without the sugar, face looking, you big, black culture is steeped in the roasting. And we mess around and we let Donald Trump corner the market on it when we're supposed to be we are the inventors of the roast, man. I know Don Rickles did his thing. Don Rickles. But I'm saying, like, this is a black cultural phenomenon. But we got to leave all that at the table, at the door, when it comes to politics. Because they can't deal with us being men. They can't deal with us being ourselves. They let black women be a caricature of themselves. Right? And over the top, loud, whatever. That works for black women, but for black men, it's the opposite. Black men have to be tamped down, always congenial, and even worse, crying, sappy, overly sensitive. And then look at them. Look at them. Look at their life. Look at how they roll. Look at what's working. It's not an accident when these networks pick these guys. They pick them on purpose. It's very intentional when they select them and give them opportunities. Very intentional. So yeah, we're looking at the demise of the Democratic Party, but I also want us to look at the machinations behind it. Look at how they put us together with this. Look at how they set us up for failure. Look at how they play on these stereotypes and what they do to us. I say we gotta stand back. We gotta reject it all. Remember, guys, I'm not telling you to go vote Republican. That's not my message. Stop saying it. I want you to be independent. I want you to make a decision based on who has the best to offer. You tell me what your family needs. You tell me what's important to your community. You tell me what policies make sense to you. And then you make a decision based on that. But that pre-assigning your vote to Democrats or Republicans. Well, let's keep it real. No one's pre-assigning their votes to Republicans. Now, the majority of black people are not. And I think this pre-assignment, this immediate, this knee-jerk, checking D down the line is how this monster was created. And we got to kill the monster. We got to kill the monster. On that same token, here goes the video. Here goes, let's move on. This is important, guys. Check this out. The Democrats are in big trouble, man. And I'm saying, I think it's so bad, it's to the point now, we may be looking at the last of the Democrats winning elections. They may be over.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Democratic Party is in worse shape today, both in terms of how it's viewed by the general electorate, but also how Democrats feel about it, than at any time that I can remember in my covering of politics, which is now, because I'm old, almost 3 decades. All right, so let's go through a couple things. So first of all, Associated Press poll, national poll out on Thursday morning. Some of these numbers are stunning. They asked Democrats how optimistic or pessimistic they feel about their party's future. 1 in 3 Democrats, 33% of Democrats, said they are either very optimistic or even somewhat optimistic about their party's future. 33%, 1 in 3. Compare that to July 2024, when 6 in 10 Democrats said they felt either very or somewhat optimistic about their party's future. Now, I will note, July 2024 was when Democrats were in the midst of changing their nominee, right? Joe Biden had the debate. Kamala Harris was becoming we were debating what was going to happen. Biden gets out of the race July 21st. Kamala Harris gets into the race. Maybe you get a little of the excitement of switching from Biden to Harris in those numbers, but 6 in 10 Democrats, even in that moment, which was chaotic at a minimum, even in that moment said they were somewhat or very optimistic about the future of the party. Today, it is 1 in 3. And just by way of comparison, what percentage of Republicans feel very or somewhat optimistic about their party's future right now? A majority, 55%. So a huge delta there, both between where Democrats were in July of 2024 and where Republicans are today. Now, there's another set of data. So this is Puck, which is a newsletter site. They combined with Echelon Insights, great pollster. They have some of my favorite people over there, Kristen Soltis Anderson, Patrick Ruffini. They do really great work. It's a Republican firm, but they do really interesting work. So they got together, and Puck asked them to ask people, what one word comes to mind when you say the Democratic Party? And I always think these word association things are actually very useful. I think they're an interesting guide into sort of the brand of the two parties. You know, like, what's your brand association with Chick-fil-A? Or
okay, before they do this, guys, I want you to let's play along with this. Let's play along with it. What's one word that you would come to mind when you think about the Democratic Party? Okay, what's that one word? And I don't want to look at any comments. I just want to say it. For me, the first thing I think about when I think Democratic Party, I think phonies. The word phony comes to mind. That's my word. Now, it's going to be difficult because you just heard me, but because it goes into your consciousness. But I'm serious, like, try to put my shit aside. Don't worry about that. What do you think? What's the one word that comes to mind when you think about the Democratic Party? Let's get that in a couple of seconds because I really want to know, man. Put it in the comment section. Put it in the chat, folks, because I want to hear this. Before we go to Scalise, I forget his name. Damn, I forget his name, but okay. All right. Is that enough time? Okay, let's go.
Coca-Cola or McDonald's, right? And I think those things are useful in the commercial world, but also in the political world. So they then built word clouds with the biggest words being the ones that were the most mentioned. So first of all, they did this among all voters, Republicans, Democrats, and Independents. Here are the 3 words that were most mentioned when the pollster said, name one word that comes to mind when I say the Democratic Party. Liberal, weak, corrupt.
Damn.
Liberal, weak, corrupt. Obviously, that's not where you want to be as a party. But this is actually even more interesting because remember I said even Democrats are not optimistic about their party and are down on their party, right? They then said, all right, let's ask the same question, but we'll just ask Democrats what one word comes to mind. And you would think it would be like fair or equal or something. Here was the number one word: weak. So weak was the number one word that Democrats associated with their party, and ineffective was right there as well. So liberal, weak, corrupt for the general electorate, and weak and ineffective for the just Democratic sample. I find that, I guess, not surprising because we've had the Democratic brand in a place since Donald Trump won in 2024 that I've not seen before. We're in worse shape in terms of how people view it.
Yo, man, before we go any further, man, what is that close to what any of you were thinking? Is anybody in the same ballpark with that? Is that crazy or what? So weak, and I guess number two is ineffective. I don't know. Mine was phony. I feel like I don't know. Ineffective, weak. I guess it's a little bit different. The corrupt, phony, and corrupt are kind of like, I would say, kind of synonyms. I don't know. I want to know if anybody else chose weak or ineffective. And maybe that's because you think they're weak because you actually, I guess that makes sense. Because if you're a Democrat yourself and you want more from your party, you think your party's not doing what it should do, these are basically the types of ways you view the Democrats are based on them failing you, right? And I don't see them as failing me. I see them as being phony, as not being an authentic to what they say they are, which I think makes sense for somebody who's not a Democrat. A person that says, hey, you're weak, has an expectation. A person that says that you are ineffective has an expectation of what they think you should be doing. I'm not on that with the Democrats. I'm past that. That's why I tell people I'm a Democratic Party hater. That is the most accurate, most honest labeling of a commentator about the Democrats that I think you're going to hear. Because that means I'm not trying to lie to people about how I see them. You know what to expect. I'm keeping it real about my bias. Joanne Reed never kept it real about her biases. Rachel Maddow never kept it real about her biases. Anderson Cooper doesn't keep it real about his. Jake Tapper, none of them do. So, it may be annoying to some, but at least you know it's going to be annoying. At least you know where I'm going to come up. You understand where I'm coming from. All right. Let's see what else he says. I think this is almost over, though.
Than I've ever seen before. I've talked to pollsters who've said they've sat in focus groups and the words that keep coming up are weak and woke. So that weak word keeps coming up. And I think that is sort of a big problem for the Democratic Party. You can't be viewed as weak. Donald Trump's great strength, even for people who don't agree with him, is he's viewed as a fighter and tough. Now, we can debate whether he is a fighter and tough, but that's how he's viewed. And Democrats right now, even among themselves, see themselves as weak and ineffective. And I just think that's incredibly telling and problematic for a party. But it does suggest you know what you need to work on. You know, as you rebuild the party, as people start positioning for 2028, you know you need a fighter. You need someone who's perceived as tough, someone who's perceived as going to bat for you, someone who is perceived as willing to fight, not literally, but in the political sense. And so that's probably where Democrats need to start. But man, these numbers and those words, even for me who kind of knew that the Democratic brand was not in good shape, were pretty shocking.
Yeah, you know what? It puts a nice little bow on the president of what's been working for certain people in the space, right? So you got AOC going on the tour with Bernie Sanders. I want people to recognize that these operations behind these politicians have a lot of money. They do poll testing. They do all types of consultings. Like, they're not just coming up with stuff on their willy-nilly on their own. So people say, well, AOC's like, she's rising to the top. Yeah, the whole fight to power thing is could be choreographed. Same thing with Jasmine Crockett. That whole attack Trump at every turn may be working for her because that's what Democrats want to see. I don't know how effective it is. I don't know what's coming of it other than their own rise in popularity, but like, is that really stopping anything that Trump's doing? Has a single piece of legislation been created or stopped because Jasmine Crockett called Trump names? I don't think so. And maybe that's not what their party expects anyway. But it plays to the emotional triggers that it looks like Democrats want from their people. So anyway, I think it's interesting, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Wow. Well, folks, I want to go to, speaking of the comment section, man, I think that's pretty much all we got, fam, for me. But I'd like to see what you guys are talking about. Trust No Party says top of home. Let's see. Gerald Jones says weak equal demonic. Weak place to cheat and destroy. Huh. Interesting. Black Mamba says manipulative. That's what I meant with phony. Yeah, that's the center. Yeah, exactly. That's where I was coming from. Yeah. No doubt. Woke is dead, says Solution 711. Well, you know what? It's all about where you define woke as. Main law says LBGTQ. Huh. G. Warren says demon rats. Timothy Taylor says vulgarity. Herschel Reed says weak would have been my next word. Gerald says demons. Wow, demons. Timothy says vegetarian. Oh gosh. Gerald Jones says erectile dysfunction. Catagrina says I got corrupt. Herschel Reed says ineffective when they want to be. New Man 2023 says absolutely. Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go. Here goes one. Gil Hardman says liars. He sees the Democratic Party as liars. Renardo says trick. Desiree says backstabbers. That's a good one. Odiseo says phony. I thought of it before Tim did. There you go. Thank you, fam. Liars and con artists, says Elena. Check it out, guys. Voyeurs, donkeys, manipulative. Supreme says incompetent. M. Lavo says bought out. Drive-through order-tainers. I don't know what that is. Man. Shysters. That's a good one, Herschel Reed. Shysters. Yeah, look. Nina says self-serving. Self-serving. New Mom says failed. Yeah. So look, guys, I want to give everybody a big shout out, man. Thank you for people that came through for commenting. Hit the like button. Let the algorithm know. This is the intelligent thing to do. That is the intelligent thing to do. Vote for your best interests. Yes. Okay, yes. Lead Herschel Reed and lead Clinton. I agree. It's the best thing to do. We got to do is we got to think for ourselves. We can't be tied to a party. We got to be tied to results. We got to be tied to our best interest. That's what we got to do. And I think all people should do that. Everyone should be tied to their best interest when it comes to their politics. That's the only thing that makes sense. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. It's a short night on the Tim Black Show. Let's go to comments, man. Once again, we got Megs with a gift of 5 memberships to somebody. Well, to somebodies. To some lucky somebodies. We got Black Mamba hooking up the super sticker. We got Trusto Party coming through. Thank you, Trusto Party. And of course, we got Lead Clinton with the cosign on the whole idea of being independent voters. Be an independent, fam. It's the way to go. So that's it, man. All right, guys, that's it. Nothing else to say here from me, but we'll be back with Friday to finish strong of the week. I want to thank everybody that came out to support the show. Well, clicked on a link. Who did that? Yeah. We had a good week this week. Don't forget, tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Well, tomorrow, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, my full release of the Dana with the Data conversation. It's dope. It's hard-hitting. She's amazing. Go see Dana with the Data right over there on her YouTube channel, The Real Dana. Go give her a holler, The Real Dana on YouTube. She's also on X. I think she's everywhere. Instagram as well. I think it's The Real Dana 7 on Instagram. That's the number love for you. See you back here tomorrow. Like I always say, don't let anybody take your cornbread, Johnson. That's your cornbread. Keep your cornbread. There, go on it. And as always, I gotta say, where my ladies at? Where my girls at? Where my ladies at? Where my girls at? There you go. Where my girls at? Right here.